So this is carrying on from a video I did a few weeks ago. I did like a knockout stage of who my favourite Welsh forwards were, and then I sort of played them off against each other until I ended up with, not going to tell you because if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. What I'm going to do this time, I'm going to pull the backs out of the hat, I'm going to lay them out, 16 of them, and then we're going to see who the best back is in my humble opinion. So first one out, Tom Shanklin. Second one, John Fox Davis. Dan Bigger, Gareth Davis. I'll do the other side. So the first one out of the other side is North, Stephen Jones, Lee Byrne, Shane Williams. Now I'll pick out who they're going to be facing. So Tom Shanklin against James Hook, John Davis, Liam Williams, Dan Bigger, Jamie Roberts, Gareth Davis, Mike Phillips. That's a good one. The Battle of the Nines. George North against Alex Cuthbert. Another good matchup, that one. Then we got Stephen Jones against Gavin Henson. Lee Byrne against Lee Halfpenny. Oh, that is a good one. And then finish it off, Shane Williams against Dwayne Peele. So first one, Shanks against Hook. I really love Shanklin as a player, as a Cardiff fan. During 2005, that period, I thought he was excellent, really an unsung hero in that Grand Slam team. Always got us going forward. Obviously, as things developed, when the golden generation came in, he kind of sort of sank back a little bit and new players came through. But for a period, he was really quality and scored a lot of tries early on in his career for Wales. And I really just think he doesn't get the recognition he deserves. But James Hook, what a quality player he was for Wales. Always just, unfortunately, had to play in so many different positions. Whenever he seemed to get a run at 10, he always made things happen for Wales. But I think because he was constantly battling with like Stephen Jones for that spot, that he never really got a run. When Gatland came in then, he was playing him in the centre, playing him fullback, all over the shop. And I think we didn't ever get to see the best of Hook for Wales. But in this one, he goes through beating Tom Shanklin. Next one, really good battle. This one, we got Foxy against Sanjay. Liam Williams, what a player he has been. He's one of those like sort of stalwart players, still going. I don't know if he's going to be back in a red of Wales, but he's been great for Wales. Really one of those abrasive players who gets in people's faces, really annoying for opposition, always niggly. You kind of need those players. Oh, he loves a jackal as well, made so many good steals, good at the counter-attack, good in defence, really good at everything, you have to say. And we'll always remember for the Lions that try he basically started against the All Blacks in the Test match. What a try that was. But scored loads of good tries for Wales and still going there and thereabouts in the Wales setup now. So then we got John Davis. Yeah, I absolutely love John Davis. What a player he was for Wales as well. Really, there was a period where him and Roberts had a really strong partnership for a long time and they were good foils for each other, both really strong. But John Davis, there was a period of time for about 2 or 3 years where you could argue he was the best 13 in the world. He was just good at everything, always made the right decision, really worked hard on other parts of his game as he went throughout his career, and got a really good kicking game as he got later into his career. Really intelligent player, strong, physical, top player, and he's going through. Then Bigger and Roberts. Roberts was an absolute machine for Wales. The amount of times he got us over the gain line, what he put his body through, and what he did in defence as well. I think he's underrated how good he was defensively. I think people just remember him as that up the guts, straight ball crash, and that's all he can do. But defensively, he was so sound, and he ran the defensive shape during a time where we were absolutely nails in defence, and that does come a lot to his leadership. But everyone on this channel knows how much I love Dan Bigger, and just what Bigger has done generally for Wales over his career. So many big moments for Wales and so many performances with just all guts and heart and just put everything on the line. And the World Cup game against England where he kicked them to death will always go down as one of my favourite Welsh memories. Gareth Davis against Phillips, what a battle this is, the two nines. Both kind of different players. Gareth Davis scored so many tries for Wales in his career. So many important tries as well. The amount of times he caused disruption in the backline in defence as well, which is something I guess underrated. Had an interesting career where he kind of gone out of the team, come back in, out and back in, and always kind of like made impressions when he came in for me. A favourite of Gatland as well, and particularly at the end of his career, I think he was being underrated. People were saying maybe he was past it, but I still think he was putting in some excellent performances for Wales. And as it showed, once he retired from international rugby and just focused on playing for Scarlets, he had an excellent season last year and just showed that he has still got the quality. But Mike Phillips, one of my all-time favourite players. I made a video about him on my channel not that long ago, talking about his career. One of my first memories of going like down the Arms Park was Mike Phillips playing for the Blues and just absolutely destroying opponents, just constantly causing defensive issues, always getting in people's faces, which I love. And then for Wales, defensively, he was superb. Doesn't get the credit he deserves for his all-round skill set. I don't think people think that he was just that big physical nine, but he was good at everything, really good kicking game, good at reading the game, and did so much unseen work defensively and organisationally as well. And Shaun Edwards leaned on him a lot to organise defensive stuff on the blind side and things like that. And for that reason, Phillips is going through on that one. North and Cuthbert then, this is a really good one because both wingers really, and the same period of time. Cuthbert just retired as well, so congratulations to him. I think he is another one who gets underrated. People think he was kind of a one-trick pony, but what he did really well. He was really dangerous. That when he first broke into the Welsh squad, he was kind of unplayable at one time. He was just weaving in and out of defenders, really strong, good on the blind side, a good foil to the centres, and North on the other wing. They really worked well as a tandem. And yeah, he was a good player. I think when he left Cardiff and went to Exeter, showed how good he was. And I think that was the best thing for him in his career at the moment. And then when he came back, he looked really good. And yeah, really good player, underrated, I think, for Cuthbert. Scored really good tries for Wales. But North did so much, so long in his career, so many amazing, important tries. If you go back and look at George North's tries for Wales, there's a video of all of them. I think it's Andrew Ford, but I'm not sure. And you see so many like wonder tries, and you think, how did you score that? Like completely just murking defences, scoring important tries. And I'll always remember against Fergus McFadden, I think it was, when he sat him down clean out of the air and then offloaded to John Davis for Wales to win away in Ireland, and that set up a Grand Slam. And that was such a massive moment, and I absolutely love that moment, one of my favourite rugby moments. So George North goes through against Cuthbert. Then Henson and Stephen Jones. Stephen Jones had a really good decorated career, second top point scorer for Wales, always was in the team throughout his career, in and out, and he was really solid. But Henson just had so much ability. I know people say, oh, you know, he was a bit of a mental case, and he didn't have a long career over longevity. But for me, the 30 or so caps that he had just showed how good he was. And if he'd have just knuckled down, he would have been an all-time great for Wales. He just wanted to do other things, which is fair enough. But yeah, Henson goes through against Stephen Jones for that one on me. Then the battle of the fullbacks, Liebern, Halfpenny. This is a difficult one. This is actually an interesting one because Halfpenny sort of superseded Byrne, and in Byrne's book he was a little bit salty about it, which is understandable. But two different type of players. Byrne was the more attacking fullback, though he could defend, but Halfpenny was way better defensively, made a lot of try-saving tackles for Wales in big moments as well, in big games. He was a massive part of that Gatland golden era where we were really difficult to beat. He had that massive boot which could kick a goal, and he just offered a little bit of a different skill set to Byrne. Byrne was very good at attacking-wise. No one I can think of in my brain at the moment as could pick a line like Byrne could. He could seem to have this vision for holes and real good feel for space on the pitch, and he very often found it. But just for Halfpenny's goal kicking, then in the last one of this round is Shane and Dwayne Peele. Peele was a really good player, probably one of the best scrum halves in the world at his time. real vital cog to that 2005 Grand Slam. He was very important in dictating the pace of play and when they would go, and he took a lot of quick taps, which worked to increase the tempo, which was good for that team at the time. But I mean, can anyone really argue that he did more for Wales than Shane Williams? Let's be fair, top try scorer for Wales, absolutely unbelievable player. And I think Shane's going to be actually my next deep dive, so I'm going to start working on that soon. But anyway, yeah, Shane went through because it's so. I mean, the tries you see. I was talking about George North's tries. Some of the tries you see in Shane Williams' career, the highlights were just absolutely magical. You can't explain it in any other way. He's just a wizard, and what a player he was for Wales. Scored unbelievable tries during times when we were good and when we were bad, but it didn't matter. He always scored tries and scored a lot of them as well, an important one. So Shane goes through. So we're down to the semi-finals. It's Hook against Foxy. I'll speed up a little bit now. Really like both these players. As I said, Hook was a little bit unlucky that he didn't really get a run in at 10, and if he'd consistently got that, maybe he would have a better shout at getting through against Foxy. But unfortunately, Foxy was so good, as I mentioned, probably the best 13 in the world at one point. So he goes through. Then it's Bigger and Phillips. I didn't realise that was those two against each other. Two of my favourite players, these two, I have to say. But I just think Bigger just had bigger moments. Goal kicking as well. And just the heart and soul that he played with. Not that Mike Phillips didn't, but Bigger was just so good. And probably really doesn't still, even now, gets underrated, even though he's done so much in his career and has been touted as one of the best. I still think he's underrated. People seem to say that he was kind of limited, and I don't see that. I think he was excellent in every asset. So he goes through. Then North against Henson. This is kind of head against heart, really, because absolutely loved Henson, and what a player he was when I was sort of started my rugby journey. He was the big thing at the time, just bursting onto the scene. So I have an affinity with him. But you can't pick him over George North. The difference of what they did for Wales, tries wise, just longevity over time. North dealt with his injury issues as well, with concussion and stuff, and always kind of came back and had to move to 13 and really adapted well to that position over the years and towards the end of his career. So North goes through there. Then Halfpenny against Shane. Again, two different type of players. I really do have a lot of time for Halfpenny, but Shane goes through with that one without question. And then Bigger against Foxy. This is just completely on a personal thing. Bigger's one of my all-time favourite players, and he goes through against John Davis, but John Davis is absolutely amazing. And then North against Shane, that's an interesting one. Two absolute first and second most try scorers for Wales. So you can't really, it's hard to divide them. But I just think Shane had more periods where he had to deal with playing in rubbish teams, and it didn't stop him from still scoring loads of amazing tries. And for that reason, he goes through. And then it's Bigger and Shane. And you couldn't really pick this. I think probably most people will go for Shane Williams, but just on a personal preference, as a player that I've always loved, Dan Bigger for me. He wins the backs duel, and let me know if you agree in the comments or give me your abuse, and I'll catch you on the next one.